Welcome to Africa's kingdom of pleasure. It's that magical place that is synonymous with entertainment and enjoyment. Over the decades, it has hosted the pinnacle of sporting and other world-class events, and over the next few days, it will be no different. Welcome to Sun City, but more importantly, welcome to the first ever South African Safari Rally. Over the next few days, Sun City will host all the best rally raid drivers and riders on the planet for the first time on South African soil. The occasion is the first ever South African Safari Rally, an event that will also act as round 3 in the famed World Rally Raid Championship, following the Dakar Rally and the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge earlier this year. We caught up with the South African Rally Raid Championship's Archie Rutherford to explain the magnitude of the event.
Well, quite unbelievably, we had a World Rally Raid Championship event at Sun City in South Africa, which is astonishing. It's fantastic for us, fantastic for motorsport South Africa, fantastic for the country as a whole. This is a massive event for us. It's bigger than probably the same as the F1 we had in 1993. All the big names here in Rally Raid, World Rally Raid. We've got Carlos Sainz, we've got Sebastian Loeb, our very own Janelle de Villiers, Henk Latergan, Saud Variawa. They're all here.
Hosting an event of this nature is indeed a great honor for all of South Africa and its motorsport community. But it is also a massive undertaking. From hosting worldwide media to providing world-class medical services to the drivers and riders alike, the South African Safari Rally's bivouac has it all.
So one of the key roles we fulfill is the media accreditation. So media apply to us to actually attend the event, and that's international and local media. We're going to have a media contingent of about 40 international crews here, videographers, photographers, press officers for the various teams, as well as local crews, ensuring that they are compliant. We have the indemnities, the insurance sorted out, give them accreditation to go out on the stages, press conferences, they can get interviews, things like that. Then also we coordinate all the communications around the event.
We've got staff and equipment here to deal with a range of emergencies, both medical and trauma, ranging from minor injuries and ailments all the way to more serious trauma incidents. We've got also a medical response team, some ambulances, as well as 2 helicopters for the event to assist with medical evacuations to nearby hospitals. I'm the senior doctor, I'm an emergency physician, and then we've got another doctor, local GP, as well as some paramedics that sort of assist here. And we've got this room which is a 2-bed resuscitation unit, and then another room on the back there with another 2 beds for sort of more minor things like suturing and minor wound care.
Naturally, a real-life safari was always going to be a part of a rally with the word safari in its name. And where better for a number of international motorsport stars to get their first glimpse of Africa's Big Five than at the adjacent and world-renowned Pilanesberg National Park.
If we get close to elephants or lions, you're more than welcome to talk, as long as you just do it with a low, calm tone of voice, because the more excited you get, the more excited the elephant gets, and then an excited elephant is not good.
Americans Ricky Brabeck and Skylar Howes and Frenchman Adrian van Beveren were joined by Botswana's world champion Ross Branch and South Africans Bradley Cox and Guy Bottrell, amongst others, in an effort to showcase South Africa's natural beauty to the visiting superstars.
Wildebeest killed Mufasa, so those things are pretty gnarly.
With many of them coming face to face with Africa's wildlife for the very first time.
I got the shot.
This is the first experience seeing the Big Five, you know, the elephants and the leopards and all the cool stuff out here. So this is something that we normally don't get to see out on a World Rally Round. This is really cool for us to come to a new country and then experience something that's, you know, so special and so cool. So yeah, I'm stoked to be here for sure.
Sun City and the Gary Player Country Club is, of course, also a world-renowned golfing destination, and hosted many famous golfers over the years, including a few Spaniards in the form of Seve Ballesteros and Sergio Garcia. During the Safari Rally, it hosted another famous Spaniard in the form of El Matador. It also laid the foundation for an old rivalry to continue between good friends Carlos Sainz and our very own rally legend, Janelle de Villiers.
The battle already started.
Battle.
Let's see what happens.
worried about his driving. I'll leave it to the race.
Do you know how to...
See you later.
Back at the Safari Rally bivouac, it was time for the next order of business, the administrative checks and the all-important scrutineering. We caught up with a few South African competitors about their feelings and expectations of having an event of this magnitude on our South African doorstep.
It's going to be rough. I've only done like 3 or 4 races locally, so it's also new for me. But yeah, just to have all the international people here, it's such a weird feeling, but I really like it. It's good to be home.
A few of the international stars may have been here before, but for the majority of the competitors, this is a first-time visit to South African soil.
It's also great to race in the place where the Hilux is born, so a lot of fans for the Toyota teams here. So yeah, looking forward to the race, happy to be here and happy to represent Toyota in this, let's say, home race for them.
So the stage is quite literally set. Soon the competitors will be leaving the comfort and safety of Sun City as they head off into the African bush. This is what they came for in the first place, and this is what they'll be facing over the next 5 days.
It was probably one of the most exciting things I've witnessed in my racing career in South Africa, what we now call Rally Raiders, to be able to get to see the international competitors coming here to South Africa. It's quite different to the normal World Championship races, the South African terrain and the type of racing. But obviously something works with regards to what we do here, all the cars that are built and the success we have at South Africa. There's obviously something we've got here that is part of a winning formula. We chose to start in the Sun City area so that logistically we could get all the people in and out and have them in hotels and have a good base and a solid base to work from. And then the idea of the race is to move as far west as we can. The savannah at the moment is a healthy looking savannah, I think. Animals are all looking good and it's been a good season. So we've put together a route that the organisers now come out and track and map the route, putting all the road books together, putting in the liaison sections and all the directions and the route notes and waypoints.
Every time that we have a change of direction, we need to put a note at the competitors, the good road that we need to follow.
So we've got a team just to check that we're on the right track and just to help guide us. Obviously it's the first race and our racing in this country is a little different to your traditional rally raid stuff. It's a tedious process. We're working at about 15 to 25 kilometers per hour. We've got 1,350 kilometers to do at the moment. Obviously at the moment we're getting stuck a lot in the mud and we need to take on that challenge because that mud will be gone by the time the race is on. And we don't want to go around every mud puddle and not cross rivers because they're flowing. So that's been really challenging for us to try and fight the conditions at the moment, knowing what we're going to have when we get to the event.
Actually, it's not so easy.
So what we normally do is we go see the farmers up front and ask the permission to go on the farm, put out the route like we did today. Then after the race, we come back and clean up. Fixed what's broken, leave everything as it was and better.
Dit is 'n lekker social ding. Bring bietjie die gemeenskap bymekaar. En dit is net 'n lekker dag, is lekker as dit goed gebeur in ons omgewing. Bietjie almal bymekaar te kry, lekker te braai, racing te check en dan nou maar die fondse wat ingesamel het gaan na die ouer huis toe of skool of iets so. Dit is 'n goeie inspuiting by ons gemeenskap.
So various challenges through the day and you just got to manage them on the go. Sometimes there's a lock gate that was planned to be open but someone has seen that has been left open and are concerned so they'll lock the gate. And so it doesn't matter how much planning you do, you're always going to be caught out by something somewhere along the line. You've got to stay strong and you've got to keep positive and don't give up on trying to keep something in the route that's going to be interesting or challenging when the race comes. So that's really been our biggest challenge. The ASO, they've been really helpful in guiding us. I think they understand the difference in conditions and the biggest difference is we don't race with the bikes and quads and that changes things dramatically. The safety of the event, the type of terrain that we can race through, the safety of the bikes is paramount, obviously. A typical day is you start off as early as you can and you stop for a little bit of coffee. We've got a little kettle on the go and we get the gas burner going. We stop and have some rusk and it's normally quite pleasant at that time of the morning. You'll run through to lunchtime. We've got a little bread roll. We stop and open the tailgate and spend as much time on the route as you can because you've got to get back to wherever you're staying. You've got to track the liaison back to a certain place, which is normally another half an hour, 40 minutes or whatever it is. Find some dinner.
Matches my shirt.
Find fuel, get ready for the next day again. Competitors are going to find this quite different to the desert-style races. Probably couldn't be more different. There are areas that are similar, open sections where it's good flowing fast and it doesn't really matter, but these are professional racing drivers on the world circuit, so they're talented and they're going to adapt, and I'm sure it'll take them a day or two, but it's racing and it's control of your vehicle. The international guys have got a lot of experience with the navigation and working on cap headings and their type of navigation, and we're using that here obviously. The challenge for the international guys is the local terrain, learning to read terrain. It's what these guys do, a lot of them for a living, and a lot of them are really professionals, so I believe the first few days could be challenging or frustrating, and then as you get into the rhythm, it's got a lot to offer. Yeah. There's something about what we've got here in Africa, it's in our bones, and it seems to be in the chassis of our racing cars, I say, that works, and I think if you come here and you enjoy this place and you come and test in South Africa and spend time with a car you've developed, you're going to leave here with a better racing car or a faster racing car. There's a statistic, it was 52 or 56% of the cars, I think it was last year or the year before's Dakar, were built in South Africa. That's quite interesting for us because we don't really compete on an international basis in too many sports apart from rugby, of course. And you can look at it and I'll try to think about how and why it's like that. I think we all have. And to me, it's our terrain. Our terrain has offered us a championship that we've run for many years. It's been a strong championship, and I think therefore we have good drivers. It's produced some successful races. We've had Alfie Cox, we've had Janelle, we've had names up there for many years, and we followed them together with the cars that have been built. We've got our Toyotas that are incredible, that have been challenging now for the last 5-6 years on the international market, and it's tough, it's difficult, and if you can do something well under difficult conditions and challenging conditions, they've been racing in the dunes for years. A lot of them have mastered those techniques, and this is an opportunity for them to hone some new skills. And now, with Henk's display at the Dakar, with Gaal at his first Dakar, now we're sort of realizing that there's definitely something that's in the South African bones when it comes to racing. It's not just Africa that's in our blood. We've got something about racing that works, yeah.
So clearly, the African conditions will come with a host of challenges, but first and foremost, competitors will take on the qualifying race to determine their starting positions, otherwise known as the Prologue. Let's go racing.
One last formality before the flag was waved to signal the start of the race proper. The chance for some glitz and glamour to light up the night sky. Fans and media got the chance to get up close and personal with the best riders and drivers on the planet during the opening ceremony of the inaugural South African Safari Rally.
It's round 3 of the World Rally Raid Championship. Twists and turns guaranteed. The top bikers from KTM, Honda, Hero and Sherco are here to do battle on 2 wheels, and no question about the man to beat. Daniel Sanders has won 3 in a row, and the World Championship leader is keen to keep his hot streak going.
Absolutely, we want to keep the ball rolling, and so far feeling really good on the bike, and just want to start the race, get the Prologue underway and get back into the rhythm as quick as we can.
Well, it certainly didn't take him long. Sanders sending out an ominous warning to his rivals as he posted the quickest time of the day, 7 minutes and 8.1 seconds. The times count in the FAM classes, but more importantly, they help set the starting order for tomorrow, and Sanders will have the #1 pick.
Nice, short and intense Prologue as we expected here. They were saying a lot of bush and tight, sort of enduro style, so it was good to get the win, and a lot of off-track excursions, missing some braking points, trying to push the limit, so that's what we had to do here to get up the front.
Well, Chucky's closest rival in the World Championship is Honda's Tosha Shiraina, who also happened to be his closest rival in today's 9-kilometre Prologue. The Spaniard made 3 or 4 mistakes himself, but only dropped 4 seconds on Sanders. The top 3 in the championship were the top 3 on the day, in Rally GP at least, Ricky Brabeck completing the podium. After several days of shakedown, scrutineering and safari, more on that in a moment, the American's happy to be up and running, though it wasn't easy on these slippery grass tracks. Ross Branch said the opener caught him out a little bit as he overshot a few turns. The world champion's practically on home soil, only a few hours from his native Botswana, and he's super proud to be here with the #1 plate. He was the best hero today in 6th. Well, this is a big week for Bradley Cox, the only actual South African in the Rally GP class. As well as riding on home soil, he's making his debut as an official factory rider with Sherco, and it was a solid start, only 25 seconds off the pace. Mind out for that left turn though. Cox, the 11th quickest biker and 7th in Rally GP. Sanders picking up where he left off in Abu Dhabi. Adrian van Beveren was 4th, just a second behind Brabeck, and 3 ahead of KTM's Luciano Benavides. Rally 2's Tobias Ebster has also stepped up to the professional ranks, joining Branch and Nacho Cornejo on the Hero team. The last-minute deal was made after Sebastian Bühler announced his retirement from the sport, and Ebster says it's a dream come true. He kicked off life as a pro by coming 3rd in the Prologue. Second in Rally 2 and 4th quickest of all bikers was Edgar Canet. At just 20 years of age, his future's bright and his future's orange. The Spaniard joined Red Bull KTM just before this year's Dakar. He's here to keep learning and improving, and he's off to an impressive start. But the fastest Rally 2 rider on the day was Michael Doherty. The South African says that lots of the terrain this week will be unfamiliar to him, but he was still the 3rd fastest biker on the Prologue, only 8 seconds down on Sanders. After dominating in Abu Dhabi, Iron Mike has laid down an early marker on home soil. Keep an eye on Rui Barbosa this week because the Chilean has real potential. He was 4th on the Prologue, ahead of Sherco's Harit Noah. Nasser Al-Attiyah is undoubtedly the king of the savannah on 4 wheels, but the World Championship leader is up against enemies foreign and domestic this week.
If you see the entry list is really a lot, but it will be difficult, for everyone.
And you don't want to share because you've been the world champion every year.
I try, this is not easy, to win 3 times world champion, now to defend again, and we are leading, and this is not easy. I have a lot of pressure, but I like.
While Al-Attiyah had a solid Prologue, his Dacia teammate Sebastian Loeb didn't get off to the best start. It has been a tough year for the French rally legend, with crashes at the Dakar and the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. Today, he lost 2.5 minutes after missing several junctions. Luckily, the times will be scrubbed overnight in the FIA classes, but Loeb will have to deal with a bit of traffic and no doubt quite a bit of dust in tomorrow's first stage. Well, speaking of rally legends, this event marks a comeback for Carlos Sainz and Nani Roma, who haven't raced for the Ford M Sport team since the Dakar. Roma says that he has always loved discovering new places, and on his first ever competitive outing in South Africa, he was the highest ranked foreign driver, 5th place in the Ford Raptor. The home hopefuls ran riot today. 14 of the 36 Ultimate drivers are South African, and they locked out the top 4. 4th quickest was Brian Baragwanath in his Century CR7T. He explained that with the grip improving as the day wore on, it was handy to have some cars in front of him. After coming agonisingly close to victory at the Dakar this year, Henk Lathaken is back in action on home soil. The South African has joined Toyota Gazoo Racing after many years with the team's South Africa wing, and despite overshooting the first corner, he didn't look too rusty in his first outing since January, 4 seconds down in 3rd. SV Racing have entered domestic drivers Guy Botterill and Saud Variawa under the Toyota Gazoo Racing banner, and it was almost a dream first day for them. They have a new beige livery that pays tribute to the safari culture in this part of the world, and Variawa originally snatched the stage win. However, a 1-minute penalty for a false start sent him tumbling down the standings. He ended up 33rd on a day of very fine margins. Well, that pushed his teammate Botterill up into 2nd place, and he only missed out on the win by a single second. He admitted that despite being South African, he doesn't really know this area, and the navigation in W2RC is very different to the National Championship, which uses open GPS and markings. SVR, though, are determined to get a car on the overall podium. The Prologue victory went to Gareth Woolridge in his brand new Ford Ranger Evo Plus. Racing's in the blood for Gareth. He's competing for his father's team, Neil Woolridge Motorsport, with his older brother Lance acting as team principal. He and co-driver Boyd Dreyer were South African Rally Raid champions in 2023, and they're off to the perfect start. 5 seconds separating the top 5. Guillaume de Mevius, Lucas Morais and Joao Ferreira were all in the top 10, with Sainz and Alatia only 10 seconds down in 11th and 12th. Well, this is definitely not how you want to start a rally raid. A despondent Dania Akil looking on after finishing on 3 wheels through no fault of her own. Just 1.7 k's into the Prologue, her Taurus T3 Max lost its right rear wheel due to a faulty part. She and Stefan Duplay managed to slip slide their way home, but they'll set off dead last tomorrow.
Look, honestly, I am very disappointed, but I am looking at the good side, which is that the Prologue times don't count. They are just for track position tomorrow. Yes, we will probably lose time in the dust, but we are still in the game, we are still racing.
Victory today went to their BBR teammate, Pau Navarro. There are only 7 challengers taking part in South Africa, but it's a strong field, featuring 3 of the top 5 from the Dakar. Navarro, who was 3rd in January, is looking to close the gap on the W2RC frontrunner Nicolas Cavigliasso. He took the win today by just 3 seconds. Adam Cush was 2nd fastest, followed by David Zile and Cavigliasso. Nasser's brother Khalifa Alatia completed the top 5. In the SSVs, it's all about the scrap between Alexander Pinto and Enrico Gaspari, who, as soon as they jump out of the car, are good friends. The Portuguese driver currently leads the Italian by 11 points, and he made a strong start, winning the Prologue by 15 seconds. There was even a 1-2 for the Old Friends rally team, as Jose Nogueira finished in 2nd place. Portugal making it a 1-2-3 with Mario Franco in 3rd, ahead of Gaspari and Michele Chinotto.
Great results for South African crews, with no less than 5 South African drivers occupying positions in the top 10. Gareth Woolridge did a great job at the front of the field. Let's hear from the Ford man himself.
Yeah, look, I didn't think we'd be that close. We had a bit of a messy Prologue. No big mistakes, but just battled to get a really smooth rhythm. But it was an extremely tight little 9Ks, so I wouldn't be surprised, in fact, to see a Taurus fastest. It was sort of that kind of track, but in saying that, there was some really big dips and jumps, so probably suited more to a T1 Plus in that aspect. But yeah, we pushed. The car was fantastic. We'll make a few little changes on suspension now, but nothing too drastic. Tomorrow's the first big stage, so we don't have to do anything too much now. The car's clearly in a good place already.
Century Racing's Brian Baragwanath set the 4th fastest time and is in a perfect position from where to launch his attack.
Yeah, after 2 days we finally did 9Ks. Yeah, it's been a lot of nerves here to get the race going, so we're really happy just to get going, and tomorrow the real race starts. It's going to be difficult on our type of racing with just roadbook, no stickers, no GPS, so tomorrow's going to be a navigator's event, especially up front, and yeah, let's try and keep the pace up.
Youngster Jaden Els has lots to smile about after placing his Redline Revo well inside the top 10.
Quick 9Ks to get this event started. Yeah, we're happy with the run. A small mistake, I think that cost us a few seconds, but yeah, we're happy. We're still in the top 10 amongst all these big names. So yeah, we can't complain. At least the week started, and yeah, we can carry on from here.
And what about local hero Janelle de Villiers, who was partnered with Leander Pinot for the first time ever?
You know, we had a good start. You know, Leander and myself are brand new in the car, so obviously, you know, just have to get used to each other and the calls, you know, but he did a great job now. Very happy with that. And then, yeah, of course, I've got to get used to the V8. It's a little bit different to what I'm used to, but no, we had a nice clean time trial. I mean, didn't stick our necks out, you know, unnecessarily, but the car felt good. Team did a great job, you know, to get everything ready. It was really short notice. We've got a couple of small issues which still affect us a little bit, but we'll fix that overnight, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll have the car running properly. But no, so far very happy and looking forward to tomorrow.
So the stage is set. All that's left is 5 stages of action-packed racing across over 1,200 kilometers of terrain. 54 cars, 41 bikes. This is the SA Safari Rally.